Hello everybody, welcome back to Amber Watch. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the main points that she's kind of said in her latest live streams. I didn't make a video on like every single live stream that she's done because I knew that she was going to be going live quite a few times over the span of the last few days. And she did. So after the dust is finally settled, I decided I was basically just going to sit down and talk about the main points that I think are worth speaking about, because it actually kind of seems like that Amber is trying to grovel and get back into Emily's good books, probably trying to get back with her, which is so embarrassing. We've also not heard anything from Snowflake or any of the reaction channels trying to hint at a new video coming out exposing Amber. So I think we're basically coming to the end of this little saga, I guess. But yeah, so we're just going to talk about the main points that have gone on within the last few days, just discuss it, dissect it, and see what has actually gone on. So, the first point that I would really just like to emphasize is about the fact that she keeps talking about Beck, and Beck is somehow being brought up in this whole thing. And I'm not sure why, because obviously this has nothing to do with Beck whatsoever. She basically went out at the audience and was like, everyone had sympathy for Beck and never questioned why they stayed in the relationship, but now they are questioning Amber on why she stayed in the relationship with Emily.
It's funny. Let's go back to the Beck situation right quick. So many people were like, "Oh my god, Amberlynn was an abuser. Why did, uh, like, I can't believe it." Like, da da da. But no one ever like sits there and goes, "Why did Beck stay?" Like it's Beck's fault.
What she didn't realize is that by the point where Beck wanted to leave, they realized that they couldn't leave because they were financially dependent on Amber due to her doing. However, the circumstances between Emily and Amber are completely different. They're in a long distance relationship, and Amber has somewhere to escape to when things got bad. She had an apartment and a support system and everything like that she could escape to when everything was kicking off in Wisconsin. So the situations are completely different. She makes her own money. She, has her career on YouTube and she uses that to fund herself. Everything that Beck was doing, Amber was giving them money for. So the situations aren't even comparable, and it really irks me that she's decided to say that. Another thing that she's mentioned quite a lot about is reaction channels. And as someone who claims that she doesn't care what they have to say, doesn't want to give them the time of day, and all that stuff, she spoke about them quite a few times.
I hate Snowflake more than anything in this world, and I really hope that he gets some sort of like karma in his life, like genuinely, because it's not.
Look, I don't follow these reaction channels. And I plan on these live streams helping me keep tabs of it all because trust me, I do not want to be watching. I do not want to be looking. The dam is breaking. Okay? Why don't you go take care of your child? Like,
Hate when like, especially reaction channels, they make me want to like, baby, what are you doing? Like in the past when I would watch them, like I genuinely can't. They would just be like, Amberlynn gives a bad name to BPD because someone in the comments like told me that.
something that's been really bothering me though, I'm realizing like just more than ever that like these reaction channels terrify me in the sense of like they don't care about justice, they don't care about morals, they don't care about right from wrong, they just don't care. They just want me to be wrong all the time.
She finds it confusing about the fact that 1 minute it's like are calling Emily a murderer and that she's a feeder, but then all of a sudden they want to talk to her and do like exposes on Amber through Emily. And I will say, from Amber's perspective, I will see why it may be confusing and a little bit hypocritical, but she went to Mr. Snowflake, the one person who has made several documentaries, he's made Victims of an Empath and all that other stuff on Amber. So it would make sense out of everyone to go to, it would be Mr. Snowflake. Another really bizarre thing that I want to talk about with reaction channels is in her live stream last night, she was talking about salty crab and she went on a little bit of a rant about her. And she says that she can hear about the fact that salty crab apparently is a bigger woman. But there's no basis to this. There's no videos or photos of salty crab that like proves this. But then she says that salty crab can't go on about Amber's eating habits if she has bad eating habits of her own. But yet again, there's no evidence to prove this, and she's going completely by the fact that apparently she knows that she can hear when someone's like who weighs more, which I just think is completely ridiculous. And she just needs to shut up basically about that. A theme that I noticed throughout these live streams is the fact that she is so hellbent on making sure that she tries to prove as much as possible that she is not a narcissist, and everything that she has done over the last few days is due to her BPD. It even gets to the point where in one of these live streams, she chat GPTs what the difference between a narc rage and a BPD meltdown is. And then for all the criteria that it says that like qualifies for a BPD meltdown, she's like, yeah, that's me. Check, check, check.
What is the difference? Whoa, between narc rage and a BPD rage slash meltdown? I'm actually genuinely curious. Great question. Triggered by fear of abandonment, feeling rejected, invalidated, biggest one for me, or emotionally overwhelmed, again, big one, often linked to intense sensitivity, which is me, constant sensitivity. So everything on the rage meltdown for the BPD was exactly how I was feeling, and I did not feel, well, I felt the disrespect on the narcissistic side, but obviously, like, duh. But it was the BPD, everything, I felt that.
I just had no words. Like, I was genuinely like, jaw was on the floor when she was doing this because I was like, there is no way. There is just no way right now. And she says that she is not a narcissist because she is being hurt by everyone, including Emily, the trolls, and the reaction channels. And she says that she feels bad for all the live streams that she's done where she's proper kicked off about Emily. She knows that she's hurt Emily and she feels sorry about that. And if she was a narcissist, she just would not feel that way whatsoever. The thing that makes me shocked but not surprised is the fact that Emily and Amber, they're still messaging. They're still talking to each other. Amber also unblocks and messages Alexis throughout these live streams, which is just another whole thing within itself. But she says that on Sunday night's live stream, after she stopped streaming, her and Emily messaged, and Emily actually apologized to Amber for everything that she had done. And they was talking, and Amber claims that this is the most connected to her that she's felt in a while. But then on Tuesday, which was yesterday, her members only live stream, she claimed that her and Emily had actually been arguing all day. So it just seems like things are just continuing in this awful cycle where they'll be fine and then they'll argue. And most likely, if they argue again, Emily's just going to run right back to Mr. Snowflake and carry on saying things that everyone wants to hear, basically. So I just think at this point, they just need to block and move on. Like, it's actually embarrassing for both of them at this point. They are in their 30s and they're acting like children. In last night's live stream as well, obviously a lot of the questions were, are you and Emily back together? Because all of a sudden Amber starts feeling really bad for the way she's gone about this. And instead of just saying outright like, no, I'm never going back to Emily, are you crazy? She says like, oh, not at this second. We're not together right at this second.
Can you clearly state you are not back with her? Right in the second, I would say no, we're not together.
Which means that there is probably a chance in the future that they're going to be back together. I was saying to people before Tuesday night's live stream that if all of a sudden she decides that she doesn't really want to talk about it anymore or she deflects the blame, I knew she was going to deflect some of the blame onto reaction channels. That was a given because she does that anyways. I just knew that if all of a sudden her tone starts changing, she's either in the process of trying to get Emily back or they're already back together. And it seems like I was most likely right with that one because that's exactly what she did. Amber also talks about the fact that this Tumblr that has been going around over the last day or so isn't Emily's. I'm not going to be talking about what's on there because I'm not comfortable with that, but I'm pretty sure they're easy to find on like the Reddit and stuff if you want to know what's on there for yourself. But she confirms that apparently Emily had told her that it wasn't her Tumblr page, and Amber had actually seen what her Tumblr page looked like firsthand. But also, she mentions about the fact that it's not Emily's because the stuff on there isn't anything that Emily would be interested in or would like to see, which I just think is a really absurd comment to make because why would you willingly admit that? Like, we and the whole of Girl World warned you when you first got together that this wouldn't end well because she was known to be a feeder, and you called us crazy. And now you're outright talking about it, basically admitting to us what she likes and dislikes. Like, it's just so crazy to me that she would even think about saying things like that. I don't really know what the thought process behind that was. I think she thought it was like a gotcha moment, like you're running with this, but it's not true. But nowhere in that is it a haha, I got you moment because why? Like, it's not something to willingly admit. A few final little bits that I want to talk about that don't really have their own own topic for themselves is about the fact that apparently Emily didn't just kick Amber once, she kicked Amber twice. The first time was in the stomach when they were having an argument, but then apparently Emily has kicked Amber off the couch, and when Amber was on the floor, Amber had to ask for help up, and apparently Emily just smirked at her and had this look in her eyes that really disturbed Amber. And she also admits that she has probably most likely gained weight throughout this entire thing. She feels like she weighs about 540 pounds and she feels very swollen, and she knows that she's gained because her stamina has gotten a lot worse. So, yeah, that's basically everything that I felt the need to talk about today. Obviously, there is a lot that I missed out on, and I didn't really want to talk about every single thing that she said because there's like numerous amounts of hours of content that she's produced in the last few days, and a lot of the stuff was like rambles. And at times she was very manic. It seemed like she got very, very angry at viewers, or she was crying. There was times where she was singing, or she was doing tarot cards and like doing like love readings for either herself or her viewers that like super chatted her for it. And I'm not interested in any of that tarot stuff. I usually skip when she's doing it. So that was everything I wanted to talk about. If you feel like I've missed anything, please let me know and I'll make sure to try and cover it in my upcoming videos. But yeah, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is only my second video, but I really enjoy making them. Hopefully the production value in this video has also gone up. I have learned a lot from my first video on what I need to work on all that sort of stuff. It's been a while since I really edited videos. So obviously as I film more and make more videos, it will get better. So you just have to bear with me on that one. If you did enjoy today's video, please make sure to subscribe and maybe I can make it into your roster of reaction channels. I sure hope so. But yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!